violin sisters,
Lalitha and Nandini. A warm hi, namaste from Chennai, South India to you all.
We are very happy to be part of this World Music Festival once again.
Thanks to Yadmila for inviting us to do this meeting with you all. And today, Lalitha and myself are very happy to share with you all that we know about a very special and unique system of classical music, which is known as Carnatic music or South Indian classical music, which comes from the southern part of India. I'm sure you are all aware of what Carnatic music is, but we are happy to be sharing with you certain special facts, information, details which we love and cherish about the music system with you, to give you more insights into the music system, which is a very special music system coming from the southern part of India. As you know, India is blessed with two great systems of classical music. One from the north, which is known as Hindustani music or North Indian classical music, and the other from south, which is known as Carnatic music or South Indian classical music. Indian music itself has had very sacred origins. The dates of its origins have not been firmly established. It has not been possible to establish the date of origin of the music system itself, but it is a widely acknowledged fact that Indian music has had divine or sacred origins, and it has originated from the Vedas. The Vedas are the sacred texts of the Hindus, and the Vedas are 4 in number. They are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharvana Veda. Of these 4 Vedas, the Sama Veda is believed to be the most musical. All these Vedas consist of sacred chants, and the chants of the Sama Veda are very musical. It is believed that the first and second half of a tetrachord in a scale have originated from the Sama Veda. This Veda itself has been dated to thousands of years ago, and Indian music is believed to have originated from this. And over a period of several centuries, due to regional variations and so on, there have been many changes which Indian music system has witnessed. And during the medieval period, due to the Muslim invasion, there has been a very clear bifurcation which has caused the creation, or we can say which has caused the evolution of two distinct systems of classical music in India, which is Hindustani classical music and Carnatic classical music. Carnatic music, as you know, which we are going to talk in great detail about, since we have been grounded in the system from our childhood, is a very unique and special classical music tradition which has been existing in India, in South India, for several centuries. And this is a special system which has many unique features, such as the raga, tala, gamaka, and so on, which we are going to talk to you in detail about.
Carnatic music, which is also known as the South Indian classical music, which is very prominent in the 4 states of India. Not only 4 states of India, of course, world over, South Indian classical music is very popular. Carnatic music is highly bhakti oriented. Bhakti is the Sanskrit term for devotion. And all compositions are in praise of one of the gods or goddesses of the Hindu pantheon, like the elephant-faced god Ganesha, or his brother Muruga, or his father Shiva, or his mother Parvati, or Lord Vishnu, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and so on. Carnatic music has 2 divisions. The Kalpita Sangeetam. Kalpita means that those compositions that have been already composed. So Kalpita Sangeetam will have a repertoire of compositions composed by great composers or composers in general. And the second division is the Manodharma Sangeeta. Manodharma Sangeeta is creativity basically, and where the performer or the artist, creates his own music. And there are different musical forms belonging to these two realms, Kalpita Sangeetam and Manodharma Sangeetam. In Kalpita Sangeetam, we have musical forms like, I'm going to talk about more of the concert, musical forms, because again we have two divisions. One, musical forms for the elementary exercises, where apart from learning the basic exercises, and then we move on to smaller musical forms like Geetam and Jatiswaram, and then those are mainly for practice. And then once we come to the next level for the concert, we have a different repertoire where we have different musical forms in it, like the Varnam, which has two huge sections, and in between those two sections we have some divisions, like the first section is known as the Purvangam, or the first section, and the Purvanga has three divisions, where you have the Pallavi, Anupallavi and Mukta Iswaram, and then the second big section is known as the Uttaranga, where you have two sections or two divisions in that, the Charanam and the Chittaswarams. So this is the musical form Varnam, and then again you have the very popular musical form, the Kritis. Kritis have normally three sections: the Pallavi, the first section, the second section Anupallavi, and after Anupallavi every time we come back to the Pallavi or the theme and we finish it, and then the third section is the Charana section, and after the Charanam we again come back to the Pallavi and finish it. So these are mainly the musical forms. Apart from that, we also have musical forms like Tillana and Raga Malike, which is a garland of ragas, or different, different modes coming into different sections. And then we have the Manodharma Sangeeta. In Manodharma Sangeeta also we have different forms, like the Raga Alapana, where the musician is, the musician creates, improvises on a particular mode or a raga, and which is free flowing and which doesn't have any rhythm in it. Then there is another musical form in Manodharma Sangeeta, which is known as Kalpana Swaras. Again, the musician elaborates on a particular, on a raga and a composition, and then in that composition we weave out lot of patterns, and that which is rhythm bound. So we have different musical forms like that. Over to now, we will be speaking more on that. The next is the...
Why not we sing the Kriti and show them?
Oh yes, regarding the musical form Kriti, Nandini and myself will sing and show how the first section, you have the Pallavi, the Anupallavi and Charanam. Again, I want to mention one of the key features of Carnatic music is that Carnatic music is vocal based, and there are no specific compositions for any instruments as such. And as instrumentalists, all the instrumentalists are supposed to follow the vocal repertoire, learn the compositions vocally, and then perform the same in any instrument. And when you play in an instrument, the instrument should sound as though the instrument is singing. That is also another key feature of Carnatic music. As opposed to the West, where we have compositions especially for the violin, or compositions composed for the piano and so on. And here it is all vocal based. And another important key feature of Carnatic music is the Guru Shishya Parampara, which I guess Nandini and myself will speak at the later stage. Now we will be singing the Kriti. Nandini and myself will be singing the musical form Kriti, and the name of the Kriti is Raghunayaka in the raga Hamsadhvani, which is a pentatonic raga set to the 8-beat Tala cycle known as the Akathalam, and composed by Saint Tyagaraja, who is one of the very great composers of Carnatic music.
This particular Kriti is in praise of one of the very well-renowned deities in Hinduism, Lord Rama.
Raghunayaka ni padayuga, Raghunayaka ni padayuga, Raghunayaka ni padayuga, Raghunayaka ni padayuga, Raj విడజాలను శ్రీ రఘునాయకని పాదయుగ రాజీవములనే విడజాలను శ్రీ రఘునాయక అగజాలముల పరతోలిన అగజాలముల పరతోలిన అగజాలముల పరతోలిన అగజాలముల పరతోలిన ఆదరింపని వేదధికారశ్రీ ఆదరింపని వేదధికారశ్రీ ఆదరింపని వేదధికారశ్రీ ఆదరింపని వేదధికారశ్రీ రఘునాయకని పాదయుగ రాజీవములని విడజాలను శ్రీ రఘునాయక భవసాగరము తడలేకనే భవసాగరము తడలేకనే పలుకాసి పడిని మరుజేరితిని పలుకాసి పడిని మరుజేరితిని అవని జారిపా శ్రిత రక్షక అవని జారిపా శ్రిత రక్షక అవని జారిపా శ్రిత రక్షక అవని జారిపా శ్రిత రక్షక ఆనందకర శ్రీత్యాగర జనుత ఆనందకర శ్రీత్యాగర జనుత ఆనందకర శ్రీత్యాగర జనుత ఆనందకర శ్రీత్యాగర జనుత రఘునాయకని పాదయుగ రాజీవములని విడజాలను శ్రీ రఘునాయక. Just before we started singing, I was just on this app. This is the Tambura Droid app. Normally, Carnatic musicians, we have a fixed pitch. And another key feature of Carnatic music is that once a pitch is selected, we adhere to the same pitch right through the concert. And the pitch is not changed or altered in the middle of a composition or within sections, as opposed to the Western classical music where we have the key changes. So there is no key change here in Carnatic music. And so we have this drone. Usually we have this long, lute-like instrument known as the tambura, which was used, and then later on we had modifications, and we had this shruti box, and then we had an electronic shruti box, and then because I guess it was very easy to carry when we travel. Now I guess the easiest is now the apps, where we have the apps, and when we travel abroad, this is more handy and more easy to carry. Though of course in traditional concerts we still use the long lute, the tambura, to show the shruti.
Just to add, every performer has the liberty to choose the pitch or tonic. For instance, we sang now taking F as the tonic. When we take F as the tonic, or our Adara Shadja, or the basic tonic in which we sing, the entire composition, the entire concert will be in F. There will be no changes. There will be changes in modes, but never in the pitch.
Coming to the ragas, Carnatic music is very rich in ragas, and we have 72 Melakartas. The Melakarta scale is also known as the parent ragas, also known as the Janaka ragas or Mela ragas, and they are built upon the 7 notes, Sarigama Padani, and the 12 Swarasthanas, that is the tonic, minor second, minor
major second,
minor third,
major third,
perfect fourths,
augmented fourth,
fifths,
perfect fifths, minor sixth,
major sixth,
minor seventh,
major seventh. And also the 16 note combinations, where we all know that certain notes have two names. Keeping that in mind, the 72 Melakartas are formed. There are 4 conditions to be a Melakarta Raga, that which when it was formed. The first one is that all the 7 notes should be present in the ascending and the descending. The ascending is known as Arohana and the descending is known as Avarohana. And then after the 7th note, again the tonic, the higher octave of the tonic also should be present. Sari Gama Padani. First condition. Second condition, Sari Gama Padani Sa. Again the same Sa. The tonic, the higher octave should also be there. Then the third condition is that the ascending and descending should go straight. So after the first, the second note, and then the third note, and so on. And descending, you have the same way it should descend. In that, it means that the note should not go zigzag or sa ga ri ma. That is the first note, third note, second note. It should not go like that, but it should go straight and come down straight. That's the third. And then the fourth rule is that whatever variety of note the ascending takes, the same variety should be also in the descending. For instance, if sari, that is major second, right? So ascending has a major second and the descending also should have a major second. If the ascending has a major second and if the descending has a minor second, and yet if it fulfills all the other 3 conditions, yet it is not a Melakarta. So these are the 4 conditions for a Melakarta Raga.
Please sing an example of a Melakarta Raga.
I'm going to sing the very popular Shankarabharanam Raga, which has its parallels with the world music, and it is known as the major scale in Western classical music. Sari ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. Okay, I'm singing with the gamakas. I guess I should sing it a bit plain. Sari ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. Nandini will sing one more Melakarta Raga.
Okay.
Pratimadhyam.
Okay. I'm going to sing another Melakarta Raga. As Lalitha mentioned, we have 72 Melakartas. They are the major scales which are generally used in Carnatic music. They are divided into 2 sections. 36, first 36, then the second 36. Jointly they make up 72. The first 36 ragas all have one common feature, which is the fourth, which is the perfect fourth. From 37 to 72, all the ragas have an augmented fourth. This is what separates these 2 groups. What Lalitha sang to you was from the first group having an perfect fourth. I am going to sing to you a raga from the second group which has an augmented fourth. I'm going to sing almost the same raga that she sang, but the one which is having an augmented fourth. The name of the raga is Kalyani. It takes almost the same notes from that of Shankarabharanam, except that the fourth is augmented, and it is also a very popular Melakarta Raga. Sa ri ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa.
The Melakarta I sang is the 29th Melakarta, that's Shankarabharanam, and the Kalyani, it's number 65 in the Melakarta chart. Coming to the ragas, like apart from these 72 Melakartas, we also have Chanya Ragas. Chanya Ragas are those ragas that come out of the parent or the Janaka Ragas, and those ragas do not fulfill the conditions of a Melakarta. And sometimes notes might be omitted, sometimes you might have a foreign note into it, sometimes the raga might have a zigzag combinations. So all these come under the category of Chanya Ragas. Now I'm going to sing a very popular again, a Chanya Raga, having 5 notes in the ascending and 5 notes in the descending, which is again a very popular. You can hear this raga, which I'm going to sing now, is Mohanam, and this is very popular, I guess, in world music styles. It has the notes tonic, major second, major third, a fifth, and a major sixth. It goes like this. Sa ri ga pa da sa, sa da pa ga ri sa. This is the Raga Mohanam. And when we sang the Kruti in the Raga Hamsadvani, that's also a pentatonic scale. It has the notes tonic, major second, major third, fifth, and a major seventh. Sa ri ga pa ni sa, sa ni pa ga ri sa. That's Raga Hamsadvani. So we have a 5-note scale, and we have ragas having, ascending 5 and descending 7. Sa ri ga pa da sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. This raga is known as Mohana Kalyani. Then we have a zigzag combination. Sa ga re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma ga ri sa. This raga is known as Nalina Kanti, and so on. So
we can also have ragas which have a foreign note, or the Anyaswara, a note which occurs occasionally. So these ragas will also be classified under the Janya Ragas, or the offspring ragas. For example, Kamboji. Sa ri ga ma pa da sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa, sa ni pa da sa. The 7th note, both the varieties occur, and thus this becomes one of the ragas, which is a Janya Raga and not a Janaka Raga.
And these ragas, they are categorized under each Melakarta depending on the notes that they take. For example, the Raga Mohanam, it has the tonic, major second, major third, fifth, and the major sixth. Now, this is categorized, this comes under the Melakarta Raga number 28, which is Harikamboji, and they have categorized it because Sarigapada, all those the Harikamboji has. But
all the varieties of swaras taken by Mohanam are present in the Janaka Raga Harikamboji. So it is classified under Harikamboji.
And Hamsadvani, sa re ga pa ni sa ni pa ga ri sa. This is classified under the number 29th Melakarta, which is the Shankarabharanam. So this is how the ragas go about it. We are speaking about the ragas and talas and kamakas in a nutshell. And anytime, if you have any doubts or queries that you want to ask us, you're free to write to us or free to call us, or talk to Yarmila and get our numbers, and we'll be very happy to answer any of your queries.
Going on to the next segment, or a key feature of Carnatic music is the Tala system. As you know, Carnatic music is very unique and very special because of certain key concepts, such as the raga, which Lalitha gave you a very grand or a very great detail. She dealt with the raga system. The next key concept in Carnatic music, which makes the system very special, is the system of talas. Tala is very closely allied to rhythm or beats and so on. And this is a very evolved system of talas which is prevalent in Carnatic music. Almost all the compositions and many of the improvisatory forms are also governed by the concept of tala.
And tala, coming to the talam, as I mentioned when we sang, I mentioned about the 8-beat cycle known as the Adi talam. If you take a tala, the tala has some limbs which we call as angas of a tala. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the Adi Talam. And if you see, I made a beat followed by 3 finger counts, starting with the little finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, a beat, a wave, a beat, a wave. Now, these are known as the angas of a tala. When you count, this counting is known as the lagu. A beat and a wave is known as the dhritam. Just the beat alone is known as the anudritam. These are the three important angas of a tala.
So what is a tala? If we look at the basic definition of a tala, we can say that a tala is rhythm and it has a specific number of beats, and each tala will have a different number of beats. For example, as Lalitha mentioned, the Adi tala, which is the most popular tala in Carnatic music, has 8 beats. There can be other talas also which have different number of beats. For example, the Rupaka tala has 3 beats. It's like 1, 2, 3. All of these talas in Carnatic music are executed by hand gestures. Just as how Lalitha demonstrated to you, the hand gestures can be made up of a beat, it can be made up of finger counts, it can also be made up of wave. And the tala is cyclic in nature, in the sense that at the end of if you look at the Adi tala, it has 8 beats. At the end of the 8th beat, you will arrive again on the first beat. That's why I said it's cyclic in nature. It goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the end of a cycle. But when we come to the end of the cycle, we go back again to the beginning. Hence, the tala is also cyclic in nature. And as I mentioned, all the compositions in Carnatic music are governed by one tala or the other, and there are also many improvisatory forms such as the Kalpanaswara or Neraval, which are also bound by tala. Carnatic music has talas which are having symmetrical beats like the Adi tala. Each beat is equally spaced, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We also have talas which have asymmetrical beats. For example, we have the tala called Kanda Chapur. Kanda signifies 5. It has asymmetrical beats which goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another example is the Mishra Chapur, which Mishra means 7. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have talas which are symmetrical as well as asymmetrical.
And coming to the talas, we have 7 important talas known as the Sapta talas, out of which we have 35 talas emerging out of it because of a concept called jatis. Jatis, what are jatis? When I mentioned a beat followed by finger counts. Now, a beat, I'm going to talk about the very easiest tala called as the Akathalam, which has beats followed by a couple of finger counts. Depending on the finger counts, the jatis differ. For example, a beat followed by 2 finger counts is known as the Tisra Jati. It has 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, a beat followed by 3 finger counts. Totally 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is known as Chatusra Jati. Now, a beat followed by 4 finger counts having a total count of 5 is known as the Kanda Jati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, a beat followed by 6 finger counts, total counts of 7 is known as the Mishra Jati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the last, a beat followed by 8 finger counts, totally making it to 9 counts, is known as the Sankirna Jati. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keeping the jatis, out of the 7 talas that I mentioned, the Sapta talas, you have the Dhruva talam, Madhya talam, the Rupaka talam, the Jampa talam, the Triputa talam, the Atta talam, and the Ekatalam. These are the names of the 7 Sapta talas.
Basic talas.
Yeah. And from them we have, because of these jatis, we have the 35 talas. We will demonstrate all the 7 talas right now. The Dhruva talam, it has 14 counts. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the Dhruva talam. The Madhya talam.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The Rupaka talam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jampa talam.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The Triputa talam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Akathalam.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
And the Ekathalam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you would have witnessed certain finger counts. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. The Atathalam had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The jati comes. So, what technically we call the talam as Kanda Jati Atathalam. When we say Kanda Jati, then it has 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the Lagu. The counting has 5 counts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. The same Atathalam, when I say Chatusra Jati Atathalam, then it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, depending on the Jati, the counts for the Lagu, you get 35 thalams out of the 7 thalams. There is one more concept called as the Nadai.
Nadai. Here again we have the concept of 3 or Tisra, 4 Chatusra, 5 or Kanda, 7 or Mishra, 9 or Sankirna. In the concept of the Nadai, each beat will be divided into a certain number of pulses. Let us take the easiest tala, which is the Ekatala, having 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That is the Chatusra Jati Ekatala,
which has 4 counts totally. But if you look at the individual beat of the Chatusra Jati Ekatala, though there are totally 4 beats, each beat can be divided into 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 or 9. When we do this, the tala changes, the structure changes. For example, the Chatusra Jati Ekatala in Tishra Nadai will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Takita, 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 takita. The Chatusra Jati Ekatala in Chatusra Nadai or 4 will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Takadini, 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 takadini. So the same tala, Chatusra Jati Ekatala in Kanda Nadai will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taka takita, taka takita, taka takita, taka takita. The same thing for 7 as well as 9.
So out of this we get the 175 talas. So 7 basic talas. Because of the jatis, we get 35 talas. Then when we introduce the concept of the nadais, we get 175 thalas in Carnatic music. Apart from that, of course, Nandini was mentioning about the Kanda Chapu, the Mishra Chapu, Chapu thalas and the asymmetrical thalas. So this is the basic concept of the thalas in Carnatic music. Again, if anyone wants to, talk to us or ask us anything about the talas or ragas, you're always welcome to contact us anytime. Now we will be speaking about the gamakas.
The gamakas are a very integral part of Carnatic music, and we can say that gamakas are giving character and life to the musical form itself. It is so very integral to Carnatic music that it gives it more substance to the music system. And gamakas are nothing but ornamentations. So gamakas consists of a series of ornamentations which can be shakes and slides which are used in Carnatic music. And we can say that in Carnatic music that almost there's no note which is not ornamented. So the gamakas are extensively used in Carnatic music. There are different kinds of gamakas. For example, there are shakes like ga, re, and pa, ga. These are all slides and shakes. I'm now going to give you an example of a scale. Let's take a scale. How it's sung plain and how it is sung with ornaments or gamakas from Carnatic music. Let's take again the scale of Shankarabharanam, which equates to the major scale of Western classical music. When we sing it plain, sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. When we apply gamakas to the raga and to the mode or scale, this is how it will sound. Sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. There are different kinds of gamakas, as I told you, and the gamakas will differ from raga to raga. In a raga, a particular note can be ornamented in one particular fashion or in more than one ways also. Sometimes it depends on the context and it's also left to the individual discretion of the performer as to what gamaka he deems it fit to be used in a particular context. So it is made up of a number of slides and glides and shakes which make the music very interesting.
And as she pointed out, like each raga has its own, like certain notes will be having oscillations, certain notes will be plain, and normally the tonic and the fifths are normally rendered plain, but the rest of the 5 notes usually have different varieties of shakes, and it differs from raga to raga. Now we want to speak about another very important feature of Carnatic music, which is the Guru Shishya Parampara. In those days, it was customary for any student to go and live with the teacher and study, not only music, but even other subjects. That was part of the ancient tradition. With respect to music, yes, the student used to go and stay with the Guru. Guru is again the Sanskrit word for teacher, and Shishya for disciple or student. The students used to go and stay with the teacher in his house, and they used to be part of their family and were treated as one of the members, and they used to take part in also not only learning or imbibing the different techniques from the Guru, but also take part in the household chores like washing vessels or helping the Guru's wife or the Guru's mother with cooking or cutting vegetables. Like how normally we all do at home. And then they used to learn directly from the teacher, and also by observing the teacher teaching other students or when the teacher was practicing. So this was the practice that had happened earlier, and after that changes started coming, and then students started going to the teacher on a part-time basis, like say weekly twice or thrice for an hour or 2, and spending time with the teacher and learning. The rest of the hours they used to go to the normal school or normal college. And then of course we also have the academic training where the music became part of the syllabus, like doing a bachelor's degree in music or master's in music or a PhD in music. And
these are all recent trends. The traditional method of learning Carnatic music was the Guru Shishya Parampara, which Lalitha mentioned. And in this method, the students not only learned music, but they also learned from the teacher directly how to lead a life, how to, for instance, communicate with those who came to, fix their concerts, or how to communicate with their audiences, what were the good stage manners, and how to lead a life, an honest life, a life built on principles. All these they learned from the Guru by living with the teacher himself for many years.
And I guess they lived with music, practicing and listening to the Guru 24 hours. And I guess Nandini and myself also had that wonderful opportunity, because we both come from a family of musicians, and we belong to the fourth generation in our family. Our grandfather, our mother, and her siblings were all musicians. And my grandfather's father was also a parents, father and mother were reputed musicians then. And then, of course, Nandini and myself took to music. And I guess we were born, listening to music 24 hours, because at home they used to keep practicing and going to concerts, because they were all concert performers. And as babies, I remember my mother used to take both of us as babies, as kids, to different concerts of different musicians for us to, listen. That's how I guess we have been groomed.
And Lalitha and myself were very fortunate, because all our gurus were from our family. So we also come from a Guru Shishya Parampara, where we literally stayed with our teachers or gurus, because my mother was our guru, my grandfather was our guru. So we practically learned music, Carnatic music, in the traditional method of Guru Shishya Parampara. We lived with the teacher and imbibed music 24/7.
And I guess we also belong to the modern era, because we've also done our academics in music, our masters and our PhD and research in music. And now we follow the modern trends as well. Now, I guess the online teaching is very famous, where students, from different parts of the globe, they come and learn from us online. And we use different platforms like Zoom and Skype and
Google Meet and so on to meet students. So it's a way in which technology has kind of narrowed distances, where we can still meet students face to face, though we are separated in separate continents as well. Going on to the next topic in Carnatic music, is we would like to highlight that Carnatic music is vocal based. Vocal based in the sense, all the music that is written in Carnatic music is for vocal, which means all the compositions have words. Even an instrumentalist, whether it's a violinist or a flutist or a veena player, they are expected to learn the compositions vocally, because they have words, and then deliver it in the instrument. Every instrumentalist is expected to make the instrument sing, because it has words, and through the words convey the emotion or bhava, as it is known in Sanskrit. So there is no separate music for vocal or separate music for instruments in Carnatic music. The music is one, universal. It's the music which is meant to be sung, having words, and the same music is also reproduced on the instrument. There are no instrumental compositions in Carnatic music.
And over to the composers. As I said, that Carnatic music gives importance to both, pre-composed music, which is known as Kalpita Sangeetam, which I had already spoken earlier, and also to the Manodharma Sangeeta, which is composed, which is composed on the spot by a performer. And it balances in Carnatic music, and we have very great composers like we normally, as concert performers, we normally learn the compositions of great composers like Saint Tyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar and Shama Shastri, who were known as the Carnatic music, or who were known as the Trinity of Carnatic music. Apart from that, we have great composers like Swati Tirunal, Gopala Krishna Bharati, Papanasam Shivan, Kotishwara Iyer, Patnam Subramanya Iyer, Ramnath Srinivasa Iyengar, to name a few. And if you go through their biographies, how much they've done for the cause of music in propagating Carnatic music, and they would have composed different musical forms like Varnam, Kritis or Tilanas and Ragamalikais and so on.
Taking off from there, when you look at the compositions in Carnatic music, whether it's a Varnam or a Kriti or a Tilana or any kind of composition that you look at in Carnatic music, you will find that there is one common thread. The theme of all the compositions is bhakti, which is a Sanskrit word for devotion. All the themes of the compositions in Carnatic music are a kind of a devotion or a prayer to one of the many gods or goddesses of Hinduism. The compositions, the central theme of all the compositions in Carnatic music are on devotion to God, as a description of the god, the attributes of the god or goddess, the mythological stories pertaining to these gods and goddesses in Hinduism, stories of their valor, and so on. This is the central theme of almost every composition that you will find in Carnatic music. So Carnatic music itself is dominated by bhakti, and the principal reason is that it is believed in Carnatic music that God himself is Nada Swarupa, or is the very embodiment of sound, or the very embodiment of music. So music itself is thought of as a prayer to the divine.
Thank you so much. We're very happy meeting you today, and I guess you had a small glimpse of what Carnatic music is. And again, any feedbacks or any doubts or queries or that you want to ask us, we'll be very happy to share with you anytime. Thank you very
once
much.
Again. Bye.
Namaskar.
Namaste.